to NDTV's World Report. I'm Divya. We have a whole lot lined up, and let's just start with the Trump administration's chief negotiator, Brendan Lynch, who's holding closed-door talks with the chief Indian negotiator, Rajesh Agarwal, today. The broader focus of the trade talks will be centered on new steps required to enhance bilateral trade across the goods and services sector. This is going to be increasing the market, the access, and reducing tariffs and non-tariff barriers, and deepening supply chain as far as integration is concerned. Government sources have said that today's talks are expected to create the ground for the round as far as the Indo-US negotiations in the coming weeks is concerned. So this is these talks were meant to take place in the end of August, but they were put on hold. Why? Because the tariffs came into effect. Do remember that deadline had, been met, and it was Donald Trump who imposed 50% tariffs, at 25% additional tariffs as far as goods that were being exported here out of India to the United States. But now, of course, after calling Prime Minister Modi his good friend, we are back on that negotiating table, and Ghazali joining us in order to get us the latest. Ghazali, of course, this is the sixth round of talks taking place between, New Delhi and Washington. How soon do you think, one will be able to sign on that dotted line?
It is a long drawn process because this is happening after a lot of ups and downs in the relations between India and US, particularly the way Mr. Trump has dealt with the entire trade deal by first announcing sanctions on India, then punitive measures, an additional 25% leading to 50% tariffs on India. And if you know, the new US ambassador to India during his Senate hearing went on to say that US administration or the Trump administration is still willing to put pressure on India to not purchase oil or energy sources from Russia. So that still continues to be a point of contention between the two countries, whether that would also be addressed in these negotiations, because this is directly our oil purchases with Russia has been a point of contention between India and US trade talks as well. It has impacted trade talks in the past. Now, in this particular session, though not much is expected as of now, but this is a welcome move because Mr. Trump had also shown some kind of reconciliatory approach with India by softening his stand by saying that India is a great partner. So this particular round of talk just hints that India and US have resumed their negotiations on trade. But how and when this BTA will be announced, I think it will take some time before we reach to that conclusion.
Right, all eyes are waiting on the outcome of this round of negotiations that are taking place here in New Delhi. Thank you, Ghazali, for getting us the latest. Now, US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has announced that the Washington as well as Beijing teams have reached a framework agreement on the ownership of TikTok's American operations. He said that the understanding was set during trade talks in Madrid and would allow for US ownership, with President Trump there, of course, and Xi Jinping expecting to finalize that deal. Now, Trump wrote on social media site that the negotiations had gone down well and that China had also confirmed that framework agreement, but emphasized that no deal would come at the cost of the interests when it comes to Chinese companies.
Mr. President, you had the framework that's been agreed to with TikTok, for example. Will China continue to have a stake in the company?
Well, we haven't decided that, but it looks to me, and I'm speaking to President Xi on Friday for confirmation of that, and, frankly, more importantly, a big deal. And we've had very good meetings. As you know, we were in Europe, our people, Scott Bessent and Jameson Greer, and others. And it was a very big meeting with China. And, they're treating us with respect. We treat them with respect, too. But it was very successful. And on top of it, we have what could be a very good deal. Don't forget, I've had more people say, could you try and keep TikTok alive? I use TikTok. I mean, I have to admit it in the election. And look how I did with you. No Republicans come close.
We have a framework for a TikTok deal. The two leaders, President Trump and Party Chair Xi, will speak on Friday to complete the deal, but we do have a framework for a deal with TikTok.
And staying with news of Donald Trump, the US president, who's gone on to say that American forces carried out a second kinetic strike. This is a strike in Venezuela on his orders, killing 3 terrorists who were transporting drugs in international waters. President Donald Trump has said that the U.S. military destroyed a Venezuelan vessel in international waters, claiming that it was linked to drug trafficking. He added that the 3 men were killed in that strike on what he described as violent cartels, though he's gone on to put out a video. This was a 28-second video that he put out in order to show what's really happened here, without even, providing any kind of evidence that the port was carrying drugs or narcotics.
We have proof. All you have to do is look at the cargo that was, like, it's spattered all over the ocean. Big bags of cocaine and fentanyl all over the place. And it was, plus we have recorded evidence that they were leaving. We've recorded them. It was very careful because we know you people would be after us. We're very careful.
And U.S. President Donald Trump has said that he's suing American daily, the New York Times, over its coverage of him over the decades. Now, the American leader has said that he's bringing a $15 million defamation lawsuit against the publication that he labeled as a virtual mouthpiece for the radical left Democrats, and that is something that he said he won't stand, and of waging this decades-old campaign of lies against him. The Republican claim that the newspaper's supposed endorsement of Kamala Harris, his Democrat rival in the presidential race, is, the point at which, Donald Trump decided to make this move, which he said was placed prominently on the Daily's front page, amounted to the single largest illegal campaign contribution ever. That is the claim that is being made by Donald Trump before he went ahead and sued the New York Times. A large plume of smoke was seen in the Gaza Strip from the southern part of Israel. An explosive and the sound of gunfire could also be heard. Israel's defense minister has said that Gaza is burning after heavy strikes that targeted Gaza City. This remark comes as Israel has been planning a new offensive. The Israeli military has not responded to questions for hours over whether the offensive had begun. Both Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said this happened on Monday, that the only way to end the conflict in Gaza is through the elimination of Hamas and the release of the remaining 48 hostages, around 20 of whom are believed to be alive. Now we have an exclusive interview with Mauritius Minister for Financial Services and Economic Planning, Dr. Jyoti Jeetun, in which she talks on a wide range of topics, from ties based on ancestry to fighting corruption. On the other hand, it's Mauritius Prime Minister who arrived in New Delhi yesterday after completing his visit to Tirupati. Let's listen in to this exclusive interview with my colleague Aditya Rajkol.
I want to begin by asking you about this particular visit, a historic visit that happened and began from Varanasi, and then from the Kashi Vishwanath you moved to Ayodhya. How significant was this particular visit, and how do you see this, laying the foundation of these ties to a renewed level?
Aditya, pleasure to be with you this morning. I must say that, our very special relationship with India is based on a bedrock of our ancestry. As you might be aware, some 70% of our population originally come from, parts of India, different parts of India. So the visit to, the trip to Varanasi, the state visit that started there for our Prime Minister and his delegation, epitomized that, It was the welcome from the people and the government of Varanasi was absolutely, terrific and way beyond overwhelm all of us. And Varanasi, so not only just the people, the government, but also the place in itself. The Ganga Aarti that we did on the cruise was, and all of us experienced that. We had goosebumps, and we felt that very, very deep power of Ganga and the Aarti on that evening. And then, yes, next morning we went to Kashi Vishwanath, and then from there to Ayodhya. And all of that, so that ancestry based on cultural values, shared language, shared history, all of that was epitomized in these 2 days, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji coming there and his delegation, and our Prime Minister being there with his delegation.
Well, with that, we're slipping into a short break. Back with a whole lot more on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
Don't they grow up so fast? And sometimes the big life moments like a new home and a new school can be scary. Which reminds me, I don't want my family to worry about mortgage costs if the worst should happen. That's why I'm looking into smart family life insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote, please.
OK, you can choose a benefit amount up to £750,000 depending on your age. If you're a UK resident aged 18 to 64, you can apply with just a few health and lifestyle questions. For £250,000 of cover, the price starts at just £14.77 a month.
That's less than I thought. I could help my husband with the mortgage.
Just like families, not all life insurance is the same. That's why we offer the Smart Family Guarantee.
That's good to know.
For even greater peace of mind, you'll also receive a 100% advance in the event of terminal illness and 10% cash back on your first year's premiums. That's the Smart Cashback. Plus, you'll also get your choice of a £125 gift card.
To get a free quote today, call our specialist UK team on 0800 542 1775 or visit smartinsurance.co.uk.
Lotto, what are you playing that for? You know what they say? It could be you.
You're more likely to get struck by lightning.
You've just got to believe.
Believe. It's a conspiracy. No one ever wins.
I did.
Apart from her. We did. Apart from them.
It was me, and it could be you.
Hold up.
Well, what makes you so sure? I just have this feeling that...
It could be you.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah, I know. It could be you.
Popping to the shops isn't as easy as it used to be. Ages. That's why I love Wiltshire Farm Foods meals. They're delivered straight to my door for free, and there's no silly subscriptions, which means I get all the flavour, with none of the faff, so I can put my feet up. Well, occasionally. Why not give them a call or go online? Wiltshire Farm Foods, that home-cooked taste, delivered.
Now that retirement's here, it's time for me to focus on the things that really matter in life, like making sure my family can manage funeral costs when I'm no longer around. Which reminds me.
Welcome to British Seniors, the UK's #1 rated provider of over 50s life insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote, please.
No problem. We're proud to offer our seniors lifetime guarantee, with 100% of claims having been paid. We guarantee your premiums will never go up and that you'll speak to one of our specialists in the UK. UK residents aged 50 to 80 are guaranteed to be accepted. Depending on your age, your loved ones can get a cash payout up to £10,000.
That money could help cover my funeral costs or be a gift for my grandson. I'll do it.
Plus, when you sign up, you'll receive a £135 gift card and free 24/7 GP advice and health services.
Be proud to protect your loved ones with British Seniors. To get a free life insurance quote today, call our UK team on 0800 881 5090 or visit britishseniors.co.uk.
Now, Google has said that it was investing £5 billion or $6.8 billion in the United Kingdom over the next 2 years to help power the country's AI drive. Ahead of a visit by US President Donald Trump, the funds would go towards the company's capital, its expenditure, its research, as well as its development, and encompasses Google DeepMind with its pioneering AI research in science and healthcare. Google said in a statement that it is open to a data center, and this is going to be taking place. This announcement happened last year with a $1 billion investment. Now, this announcement that's come about would be on top of the money that has already been pledged, is what the Google spokesperson had to say. The handshake snub at the Asia Cup has escalated after Team India refused to shake hands with the Pakistani players. The Pakistan Cricket Board has now threatened to boycott the tournament unless the match referee is removed. Now, this is a major disappointment when it comes to the Pakistani side, with Jai Shah-led global governing body for cricket, ICC, has rejected Pakistan's demand for the removal of the match referee. Now, also India, led by Surya Kumar Yadav, may refuse to accept the winner's trophy from the chief, this is the ACC, the Asia Cup chief, Mohsin Naqvi, if India was to win. Vishal, my colleague, joining us in order to get us the latest on this. Vishal, no action will be taken. The Indian side, of course, saying that there's no rule as far as any book is concerned. There's no law in regard to, making handshakes compulsory. Saying this is just a personal gesture when it comes to, sports, when it comes to any kind of sports, not just cricket. And now, of course, India side also saying that they will keep the, interaction with the Pakistani side to the bare minimum.
Yeah, this was all expected, and ICC has handed Pakistan a drubbing in this matter, in the sense that there's no rule that dictates that the sides have to shake hands after the match is over. The same goes for other sports as well, because we have seen in the recent past, in the last 2-3 years, many such instances have propped up in other sports such as tennis. One of the biggest tennis players in the world, Elina Svitolina, has repeatedly, not shaken hands with her compatriot, with her opponent from the Belarusian side, and that all has political, background to it. And this story also, India refusing to shake hands with Pakistan, also has a political angle to the story. So all of that has happened in sports time after another in the recent past, as I mentioned. So that is what the ICC is talking about. There's no rule that dictates that such a customary gesture needs to be carried out, and so Pakistan has been given out some kind of embarrassment on the international stage. Pakistan is still not standing down. It has threatened reportedly to not, go ahead with the presentation trophy. Some reports are indicating that. So we'll have to see about that.
Thank you so much, Vishal, for getting us the very latest. Moving on and staying with sports news, it's the Enforcement Directorate that has summoned former cricketer Robin Uthappa for questioning in the alleged illegal online betting app linked money laundering case. It was Suresh Nair, do remember, as well as Shikhar Dhawan, who were questioned in the past for the Financial Crimes Probe Agency, the Enforcement Directorate, and this took place on the 13th of August and the 4th of this month. Now, this is the third former Indian cricketer to be summoned in this case in Delhi. Well, this is Uthappa, the right-handed batter, who has been asked to appear at the headquarters on the 22nd in order to record his statement under the PMLA, the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Now, the Motocross World Championship is wrapped up its Shanghai leg of its 2025 season, and with riders from 22 countries and regions competing in the high-octane event. More than 90 top riders representing 33 teams from around the globe showcase world-class motocross skills, thrilling the audience with a truly international competition. The Shanghai leg is the only Asia stop and the second last event of the season, making the rankings here crucial for overall results. A whole new track designed by the International Motor Cycling Federation has featured this year. And Mondo broke the pole vault world record for the 14th time on Monday night, clearing 6.30 meters to capture his third world championship. This is a person who grew up in Louisiana but competes for his mother's native country, that's Sweden. Easily won his 49th straight meet and the 5th straight major title, including Olympics, then kept the crowd around for another drama-rich half hour to watch him go for the record. He cleared his top height, 20 feet 8 inches, on his third and final try. The bar still bouncing but not falling as he leaped off the mat and jumped into the second place. This is the second place finisher's arms to start the celebrations. Switching tracks now to entertainment, as Leonardo DiCaprio and Del Toro, who are starring in Paul Thomas Anderson's 10th film, one battle after another. DiCaprio plays a former revolutionary looking to reunite with his teenage daughter, and it's Del Toro who plays a karate inspector. This is a karate instructor who helps DiCaprio's character at a critical moment. The two actors sat down to talk about freedom, activism, as well as Vista Vision cameras. Listen in.
I think it's close to what you're saying. I don't think you can change anybody, but maybe you can tap something that can start the process of changing, maybe. But I think it's entertainment, you know, and I wouldn't be pompous enough to say movies change people, but it might just open a door that leads to another door that leads to a hallway to another door, and that, you know, I think is more like that.
Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell, who are now joining forces in order to be directed in New York. This is for the premiere of their latest movie, A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. Farrell has, he was fresh off the celebrations as far as the Emmy run is concerned that saw his series, The Penguin, pick up 9 awards. He described the Emmys as a last rodeo for the show's cast and crew. Robbie said that the film blends intimacy and with spectacle. Now, we didn't have a large crew, a lot of it. Colin and I are just kind of hanging out in the car, is what she went on to say. And then we've got weddings and dance sequences and a high school musical. It gets very small and then it gets very big. I just think it's pretty unexpected as a film, is what Margot Robbie, who's played Barbie in the past, had to say about her upcoming film.
It was really quite an intimate experience. I mean, we didn't have a large crew. Obviously, there's not too many cast members in this movie, and a lot of it, Colin and I are just kind of hanging out in the car. It's and then we got, we got weddings and we've got dance sequences, and we go to a high school musical. So there's it gets very small and then it gets very big and then it gets very small again. And I just think it's a pretty unexpected movie. I think it takes some turns that people won't be expecting.
And staying with entertainment news is Anurag Kashyap's Nishanchi is all set to hit theatres on the 19th of this month, that's coming Friday. In an exclusive chat with NDTV, went on to talk about, opening up really about his strong female character being called Manjari and what made him cast Bal Thackeray's grandson.
It was a tribute to your mother because the character that is developed in the film is named after your mom.
Is Manjari.
Manjari.
Yeah,
Tell me more about it.
Nothing. Whenever I have a stronger female character, she's always been called Manjari. Nayak, Rani Mukherjee was called Manjari. Shul, Ravina Tandon was called Manjari. I am just not imaginative enough to give any other name.
But it also means that you look up to your mom like that.
Yes.
That she is that person in your life who
Yes,
defines
she
strength.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
She keeps it all together. Right? And she's extremely sensitive as well.
Yeah. Tell me about the actors who have every time you cast an actor, we can't imagine that person doing that role. And here we are talking about Aishwarya, who is amazing in the film. I have heard so much about him. Tell me, how did you decide to cast him?
Just after seeing his potential, like literally, it's why do you cast actors? Because
how
they're
was
very
the
good for their
audition?
role. There's no audition.
No, nothing?
No. I saw his showreel. And in his showreel, there was a monologue he had done from Shul of Manoj Bajpayee, where I did not know who this boy was, literally. And I did not know that he was a Maharashtrian. Forget him being a Thackeray. And he was so good, when I reached out to him for a meeting, that's when first thing I found out he's a Thackeray.
Okay.
So I gave him the script and told him, as Batana, react to the script. After he reacted to the script, I needed to know, in the sense, like, I said, what resonates with you? And I wanted him for Bablu. I did not say the double role. He prepped for it. And I said, I need to meet your family.
You met his family?
I had to meet. Obviously, that's how I would do with all my actors, because I need time from them. So I didn't want, what if they had other plans? So I needed to meet, and I met Smitaji, and I told her very clearly that if I am doing a film with him, I want his time from me, and I want all his time from him, and he can't do any other film as an actor, because he's also a musician. Music jitna chahe kare. As an actor, he cannot. If you have other plans for him, then you let me know now. There were scripts that came for him, and she would run it by me and by him, and he also was like, "मैं यही film करूँगा, मैं यही film करूँगा." He also
kept
it away. She put a lot of faith in me, Smita ji. Same thing when I met Vedika. I said, I need to meet your parents first.
Switching tracks now to a concert that took place in the United Kingdom. We're talking about Coldplay's recent concert that has turned contentious after it was Chris Martin, the frontman, who dedicated a moment to the family of the right-wing activist Charlie Kirk, who died last week after he was gunned down. In fact, this is quite an unusual shout-out that one heard during the concert of Chris Martin. In fact, one could hear boos from the section of the audience and sparked backlash online as well. The incident occurred during the Hands, this is the band's Music of the Sphere tour that was taking place in London. Martin stopped before launching into their 2005 anthem, Fix You. Here are the details.
It seems Coldplay's Chris Martin can't stay away from the headlines, stoking fresh controversy for the British rock band after he stopped a concert before their performance of the song Fix You at London's Wembley Stadium to ask fans to send love to Charlie Kirk's family, a move many fans aren't pleased about.
Here it comes from London. You can send this to your brother or your sister. You can send it to the families of people who've been going through terrible stuff. You can send it to Charlie Kirk's family. You can send it to anybody's family. You can send it to people you disagree with, but you send them love anyway.
While many applauded Coldplay's call for unity, many did not see the moment positively, questioning the nature of the band's comments given Charlie Kirk's controversial hard-right views on immigration, gun control and transgender community, with many calling out the band, some even accusing Martin of being a covert racist. Adding to the irony, Charlie Kirk himself had previously mocked Coldplay, calling them boring in a video earlier this year while commenting on their viral kiss cam moment. While neither Martin nor the band have addressed the backlash, one thing's clear: Coldplay's message of love is facing a very divided audience. NDTV Bureau Report.
And with that, it's a wrap on NDTV World Report. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Do join us then.